Hey everybody, it's Cam, and today we're going to be talking about the utility role in Back 4 Blood and looking at a couple of decks that I've made for it. Your main job in this role is to make sure your team's economy stays healthy by keeping your team fully stocked up on all items. In my opinion, there are two cleaners that do this job best, and they are Carly and Hoffman. Hoffman has a chance of spawning in ammo and offensive accessories whenever he kills Ridden. He also has +1 offensive inventory, and he gives the team plus 15% max ammo capacity. Carly can see hazards and mutations through walls, she gets an extra quick inventory slot, and she gives the team plus 50% team use speed. Before we take a look at these decks, if you do find this video useful in any way, make sure to like it so I know to keep making videos on Back 4 Blood, and subscribe to see the next videos we come out with. Alright, let's get into the decks. Both of these decks actually share up to 9 cards, so we're going to take a look at the cards they share first, and then we'll get into what really makes each of them special. So each of the decks is going to have Pinata in them, and that's because Pinata is the strongest card in the game right now. You could even make the argument that this isn't the utility role, this is actually just the Pinata role, because when playing No Hope, if you have a Pinata on the team, it makes it so much easier. Pinata gives you a 15% chance to spawn in an accessory when you kill Ridden with an accessory. That means if we're using barbed wire, fight bombs, grenades, molotovs, those are all going to be spawning in more items that we can use to spawn even more items. Pinata is just so good, you really can't fulfill the utility role effectively without Pinata. Up next we have Utility Scavenger. This is a must pick for the utility role of the team. With this card in your deck, you'll be spawning in quick accessories within the level, and the main quick accessory we're going to be looking for is toolkits, because toolkits are really strong. They can open up alarm doors, toolkit rooms, and they can get you a free use from health cabinets. The next card they both share is Offensive Scavenger. This card will spawn in extra offensive items within the level, which is useful for your team to pick up to make sure everyone has something for when the next horde comes after you. But I find the most useful part of Offensive Scavenger is the fact that it highlights offensive items. Sometimes when you're spawning in offensive items using Pinata or Hoffman's passive, they will actually sink into the ground a little bit, meaning you can't see them. As long as you have Offensive Scavenger, it'll still be highlighted, meaning you won't miss out on items that you couldn't see otherwise. After this we have Fit as a Fiddle. This is going to give your entire team a little bit more room to gain temporary health. This card is one of the best cards in the game. It really helps everyone on the team, especially your doc and your melee player, but it will also help you as the utility user because we're also going to be taking fire in the hole. This card makes it so whenever you throw an offensive item, you will be getting 20 temporary health and 25% sprint speed. So the bolstered health will just be extra room for you for this 20 temporary health. And while playing this role, you will be throwing a lot of offensive items. Since we're going to be throwing a lot of offensive items, we also are going to put Magician's Apprentice in here. This gives us another 10% chance to not consume an item when we use it, meaning we might get a couple extra uses on our pipe bombs, grenades, molotovs, but also means we might get extra uses on the barbed wire and toolkits. This is where the real specialty of this deck comes in. Because you're taking this card and Pinata, you should always be the person that's placing down your barbed wire and using the toolkits. You are the utility user of the team. The 7th card that both decks share is Grenade Pouch. This will give you another offensive item slot and 25% swap speed. This extra offensive inventory slot is nice because we're using a lot of offensive items. The last 2 cards that both decks share are Copper Scavenger and Money Grubbers. I've talked about this in past videos. These are currently the best 2 copper cards in the game, and the main reason they're the best is because they still work when you go into hives. These cards will give you the best chance to get rich, and since you have Money Grubbers, you should be the person that picks up all the corrupted copper. The person who picks up corrupted copper is the only one who gains that money, so you should be picking up every single pile of corrupted copper so that you get the stacks from Money Grubbers. Alright, finally we can get into the specialties of these decks. So for Carly's build, we're putting in Pyro. She is mainly going to be based around throwing molotovs. This card will give us 100% more fire damage, and every kill we get with fire is going to give us 3 temporary health. Since we are getting 3 temporary health with every kill, it is just another reason why we took Fit as a Fiddle. We will need that extra space. Working very well with this, we're going to put Highwayman in this build. This card gives us a 5% chance to spawn in ammo or a Molotov when we're using our secondary and killing Ridden. Next, we're taking Tool Belt. This will mean we get 10% less health, but it will also give the whole team +1 team quick slot inventory. This means we can now hold on to 3 toolkits, and the rest of the team can hold on to 2 of whatever quick inventory item they want. The last 3 cards of this deck are going to be all money cards. We have Bounty Hunter, Share the Wealth, and Hazard Pay. I think Bounty Hunter is another really good card because it also works when you go into hives, meaning you can get up to 300 extra copper on every level. Share the Wealth is great too because you get a guaranteed 400 copper on every regular level, and then Hazard Pay will only give you 250 copper. If you were to switch out any cards in this deck, I would definitely start with Hazard Pay and Share the Wealth. As you can see with this build, we have a lot of copper cards. I decided for Carly's build, the main way she's going to keep the team stocked up on items is just by making sure everyone can buy them, and it also gives your team a better chance to buy all the upgrades as well. The reason we can take so many copper cards is because when you're doing a Pyro Pinata build, you don't really need that many cards to make it work. Pyro and Pinata just work together, they're great, and you're going to be spawning in so many items. But anyways, let's move on to Hoffman's deck. Hoffman's build is going to be based more around using grenades to kill specials. So the big downside is you're not going to be getting a bunch of temporary health when you throw Molotovs, but you'll still be spawning things because you have Pinata. To make our offensive accessories do more damage, we're going to take Improvised Explosives, Demolitions Expert, and Glass Cannon. Although all 3 of these cards do give you a negative, we do kind of end up balancing it out. Improvised Explosive gives you 25% less swap speed, but since we're taking Grenade Pouch, which gives you 25% swap speed, it actually balances out. Demolitions Expert gives you 15% less ammo capacity, but then Hoffman has an ability to give the team plus 15% max ammo capacity anyways, so this balances out as well. We do still get 30% less health, but taking Glass Cannon will make your accessories do more damage, so I think it's entirely worth it. Next, we're taking Double Grenade Pouch, meaning from the beginning of the act, you will be able to hold on to 4 offensive items. The reason we want so many slots is so that you can hold on to a bunch of grenades or a bunch of pipe bombs, which will help your team get out of terrible situations. Next, we're taking Belt Clip. This will give us 1 more quick slot, meaning we can carry 2 toolkits, which will allow us to open up the toolkit room and guarantee 1 free use of the health cabinet. Unless we get a reuse, then it will be more. Lastly, I'm putting Admin Reload in this deck. I won't lie to you, this is just my personal preference. I really like Admin Reload and I just wanted to put it in this deck somewhere. I will say this card is pretty useful though, because as Hoffman, you have a chance of spawning in offensive accessories or ammo whenever you're killing anything. So being able to endlessly put out damage with Admin Reload is pretty useful. But if you did want to switch any cards in this deck, I would start with Admin Reload and then start switching other cards from there. Alright, that is my 2 decks for the utility role on your team in Back 4 Blood. I did have no hope in mind when making these decks, but honestly, I think these decks wouldn't really change for any other difficulty anyways. I do think Hoffman is the best cleaner in the game, so he probably would actually be a better choice even if you were going for the Pyro build that I made for Carly. You could just take that deck and use Hoffman and overall be better. But anyways, let me know what you think, if there's any cards that should be switched out, or if you think these decks are perfect. Lastly, I'd like to just say, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, think about coming on over. We are a small community, but we're growing. The link to that will be in the description. Alright, I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, have a good one everybody. A special thank you to all of our members that make this channel possible. Dan, Deadkill, Death, Shaw, David Salmon, David Morals, General Underpants, SAS Pro, Gluttonous, Vinbits, Christian, Cyber, Taz, Thomas, Alex, 40K, Enclave, Fabian, Hayden, Brianne, Digbic, Bruh, Wrongform, Galurvo, Jared, Burger King Yummy, Azka, Just Andrew Things, Rourke, Safon, Soda, Teddy, Darth, Isaac, Sunshine, Cam's Banana Bread, Bruce, Fire Rain, Christian GQ, Tibhib, Dev, Kim, Jesus, Nicole, Viking, H Game Enjoyer, Sir Bean Dip, Tim Jim, Freewall, Charwolf, McSchubert, Xanaku, Crazy Nico, Adam Stewart, Novak, John Berrien, Trek, No Reason, Spicy Jab, Key Naguin, and Sussy Box Boy Uwu.